This is just another video game podcast. This is episode 14. I'm one of... What is it? It's for the week of something.
It's for the week of Christmas. Since it's December, it's always Christmas.
It's all Christmas, all month. Hi, I'm one of your co-hosts, Brian.
I'm Jeremy, and it's for, technically, I guess, the week of... Well, this goes up on a Monday, but we're covering, like, the 2nd to the 9th.
It's a lot of... There's a lot of stuff that happened. Hey, this is the last blitz of information before everything dries up for December, basically.
You would think that. Honestly, I thought this would be a dry episode.
So we didn't even get to PSX last week because that hadn't happened yet. So
right, I had mentioned at the end of the episode that there will be stuff to talk about, and there is indeed stuff to talk about.
I thought it was going to be kind of a neutered PSX, event, but yeah, a lot of stuff happened.
Sony brought it.
Mm-hmm. So are we doing? Should we do plugs at the beginning? I like that.
Sure, let's do the plugs.
All right, so this is just another video game podcast. We also are on YouTube there's a JAVG on YouTube. Do you stuff?
I'll do it. If you're listening to this on iTunes, you can find us on YouTube at Just Another Video Game Podcast. You can just type that in the little search bar and you'll be able to find us. It's got the nifty little red and blue icon that says JAVG Podcast. That's not what you're actually searching for. If you do that, you're going to find something completely different. If you're listening to this
something about Java.
Yeah, sure. The Java Podcast,
yes,
which is not going to be what this is at all. I know nothing about Java. Do people even use Java anymore?
I was going to say, I don't think there's much left to talk about as far as Java's concerned. I think we've probably ironed it all out at this point.
Yeah. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can find us on iTunes at Just Another Video Game Podcast. I can't say at this moment you'll be able to find us in other podcasting places because
we're working on that.
I switched servers and things are a little messed up. That's why last week's episode, if you were a subscriber, you got the previous week's episode at first, and it was all my fault, and I apologize.
All right, you know what? It's all right. I just listened to it anyway.
What do you do, Brian, when you're not recording this stuff?
You can find my stuff on YouTube at Luigi's Apartment. That's basically where I put stuff when I play with, for the most part, after we're done with the podcast, Jeremy and I will play something from my old game collection, and it goes up there. So, you been playing anything?
Yes.
What have you been playing?
I've been playing a lot of stuff, actually. I thought at first it was like, because I typically put a list together of the things I've been playing to talk about to remind myself. There were two things that I meant to talk about last week that I didn't talk about. One, I've been playing Pokemon Sun and Moon.
Okay.
Off and on.
Yeah, you brought your DS over.
I did. I showed you a couple of the Pokemon that I had caught on there that I like. This is the first time that I actually regret the version of Pokemon that I bought.
What'd you get?
I got Sun.
I would have gone for Moon.
Well, see, I always go for like Red, and Sun is red in this one. But the issue with it is, actually, hang on just 1 second. Technical error. But yeah, I actually regretted getting that one because there is a difference between Sun and Moon this time beyond just variations of some Pokemon that you'll find in it.
Okay, like what?
In really the key thing that I found so far, other than, you have the legendaries and all that stuff, if you play in Sun, which I don't think it did this for, I know it didn't do it in X and Y, I don't know if it did it in the Ruby Sapphire remake that they did, but it actually keeps track of your clock. So that when you're playing a game at night, it shows up nighttime.
It probably did because I know as far back... Or wait, no, it did it in Soul Silver.
Maybe Ruby and Sapphire, I think they had a clock on that. So maybe it did keep track of that. But when you're playing Sun, it keeps track of that normally. When you play Moon, it does an 8-hour difference. So if you're playing at night in real life, it'll show it during the day in your game. And it turns out I play a lot of games at night, and it's a very colorful, bright game that it sucks when you play it at night because some of the characters that you interact with, they have a glow to them. That when they were designing it, it was meant to really stand out during the day. But at night, it looks like they might be radiated or something like that.
That's that's like a really weird choice.
Yeah.
Like one game has to be 8 hours later.
I'm not sure. Well, I know one of the differences
It's
is
probably
that,
so that when you're playing it during the day, you're playing Sun and they're playing Moon.
Well, it's so that one of the reasons is that certain Pokemon can only be caught during the day, certain ones during the night. And I think that's one thing that plays into it, because I'm in like one area, I want to catch that balloon Pokemon because someone asked me to do it, and I was like, I'm going to do this, but it's like it only shows up during the day. And every time I get on that game, it's at night, and I'm like, fuck, I'm going to go play something else.
And then you don't want to do the Animal Crossing thing of messing with the clock, so...
No, I don't like doing that for those. I like to play it au natural.
Yeah.
But I remember talking to you about it, and you were getting all bummed out because your 3DS is broken. You hear me talking about Pokemon Sun and Moon. Sun and Moon is great.
Yeah.
Wait for the Switch version.
I probably will end up doing that. I was actually, I saw a copy of Sun and Moon together today, and I was just petting it.
It's a great game.
Combo.
It's there's so many little things. It's the most refined Pokemon yet. You know, they've always been inching towards that with each one. This one kind of feels like a leap, though. Mm-hmm. Like, there's a lot of things that they've added that really change things up.
That's why I felt like getting back in this time around, because I've only played Red, Blue, and Leaf Green, Fire Red. That's it.
Yeah, that'll be a great
so it'll
jump
be a
for you.
huge leap from first generation to now.
Yeah. But yeah, there's that. I'm playing it off and on. I don't think there's a lot else to talk about for Pokemon.
Yeah.
Because I'm not the biggest Pokemon guy. I just like that game.
Yeah.
Another thing that I meant to talk about last week was I went over to Dave & Buster's the weekend before, and I played some Nintendo arcade games.
Yeah, I hear that there is some interesting stuff there from Nintendo now.
Yeah. Let's see. What order should I do this in? Okay, so the first one was, I'll say we did the Mario Kart arcade game, which is pretty much exactly...
Right?
Yeah, it's developed by Namco. I think it's running on an engine based on like the Wii version, because it doesn't look as good as 8.
Yeah.
So I have to assume that.
Yeah, and they've made one before. This is a new one.
Yes.
Okay.
I think there's only 2 versions. There's only 2 versions in America. There may be a third version in Japan. I'm not sure. But yeah, they're almost identical. Just with the newer one has like 2 extra characters, and 2 extra tracks, I think. Okay. And some more items, and they have some weird items on that one. When I was playing it, there was one that was like the jelly donut item.
What?
Where when you activate it, it turns your car into a jelly donut with wheels, and I don't know what happens. I don't know if it works like the Bullet Bill does, where it automatically will just guide you.
That doesn't sound like... That doesn't make... What would the benefit of driving a jelly donut be?
I don't know. But I don't even think there's any of the standard items in that game.
Yeah.
I honestly can't. I don't think there's shells. I think it's all like weird stuff.
I feel like I can't remember any of the items from the first Mario Kart arcade game because they were just weird items.
Right.
And I don't... Yeah, I can't... I was trying to think of it as you were talking, and I can't think of any of them.
Yeah. Fun game, though. Every time I go out to an arcade and I see that, my wife and I always want to play against each other. We love playing that one.
Do the tracks at least feel Mario Kart-y? Because that was the other thing with the first one. It just kind of felt like, just not inventive tracks.
No, yeah, they don't. They really don't.
Yeah.
Because they don't mix things up like in 7 and 8 with where you can... get a paraglider out where you fly around, or they don't have any of those gimmicks. It is just straightforward. I think that would put people off if there were too many things going on the arcade thing, because they want to make those as simple as possible.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
From a business standpoint, you want it's an arcade, you want as many people plunking in their coins as they can. Right.
The second Nintendo arcade game I played was Mario and Sonic at the Rio Olympic Games Arcade Edition.
This is the one that looks like the Uncle Fester's electrocution stand-up with the 2 poles you hold onto.
You get a big vertical screen, so it's like your standard flat screen on its side sort of thing. Really tall vertical screen that you play on. And then there are sensors for your feet, and then 2 giant joystick-looking things with buttons on the side that you keep your hands out in front of you. And you have whenever you like, 1 credit will get you 3 games that you can play. You can choose from different things, and you're all like competing. It's an Olympic sort of thing.
Are there a shitload of Olympic events?
There's only like maybe 7.
Really?
Yeah, it's not a lot. But you have to keep in mind.
I've never played one of those games on the DS or the Wii.
Yeah, neither have I. I had no idea what to expect. But basically, it's a combination of running in place and then moving the joysticks around like in QTE fashion.
Okay.
The machine had 2 screens, 2 playable game machines, connected side by side sort of thing. So my wife and I were playing. Her joysticks were broken. One of them was broken. So she just, like, one of the games she played, she just failed.
This thing's probably just getting, like, straight molested by all the drunk people, Dave & Buster's, just yanking fucking controllers around.
And they move around, like, really easily, too. Like, even the one that I played where it was responsive, it's just the way that those things move is weird. Play it once if you see it, just to try it if you're a big Nintendo fan. Otherwise, don't bother.
Is it branded with the Rio Olympics?
I think so. I'm pretty sure it is. I'm pretty sure it just has like a direct tie-in.
So to say, because like the fact that you're holding 2 different control sticks, I wonder if they can just every 2 years rebrand that machine to the winter one, and that's perfect for like skiing or whatever.
Oh, I'm sure they can.
Yeah, they'll just put in, just load a new game and do it, move the marquee around a bit, and now it's wherever the 2016 is happening. Is it or not 2016, the 2018 Winter Games?
I don't know. I don't follow the Olympic stuff.
Oh.
I have no idea. I can't remember. I know that the next Summer Olympics are Japan, right? Isn't that the thing? Okay, so yeah, I don't know where the winter ones are. But if you happen to be in the Dave & Buster's that I was at, maybe skip that one and go find the Luigi's Mansion arcade
I really
game.
want to try this one.
So
I love Luigi's Mansion.
The Luigi's Mansion game is one of those shooting games, sort of, where you get in a booth similar to like you ever play like the Jurassic Park game, where they have like the curtain that you put around you, so you're like in this. It feels like you're in a dark room kind of thing. Luigi Mansion branding all around it. You get inside of there, you sit down, but rather than guns, you've got vacuum hoses.
Okay.
And it is an on-rail shooter kind of game, but what you have to do is you got to suck up the ghost. There's 2 play modes. I played on normal. My wife played it on easy. I don't know what the easy mode was. I don't know what the difference is. I'm pretty sure it's like in normal mode. In order to suck up the ghost, you have to hit them with your flashlight first. You got to shock them, just like in the game.
And expose their heart.
Yeah, expose their heart.
Juicy heart.
And then when you do that, it'll be like ding, and then you have to like suck them in by like and you have to like move to the left and the right and all that, like to fight against them and everything.
Yeah.
But one of the best things about it is that when you're like sucking up coins and stuff, you know how in like some arcade shooter games you'll like fire the gun and it's got like a little pump action thing that like moves every time you fire, so it feels like you're doing that. It has that in the vacuum controllers. So when you suck in something, it's like ka-chunk, ka-chunk, ka-chunk.
That's awesome.
And it feels so good. And we played through 2 levels of it, and just absolutely loved it. So good.
So, God, I want to play that. I take it Mario and Sonic is being made by Sega.
Yes.
The Mario Kart was made by Namco. Who made the Luigi one?
Maybe Sega.
Maybe them too.
It felt like it might be a Sega game.
And an even bigger point is, so, like, what's up with Nintendo making arcade games again? Well, they're in the mobile space. They're making money wherever they can, like to make up for the Wii U. I didn't think about how weird it is that it's a Nintendo arcade games are coming back.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing. There was a drought with it. I was gonna say,
like a 20-year drought.
No, not quite 20-year, because there was the F-Zero game. Then they had the Mario Kart game. The first Mario Kart arcade game came out maybe like 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. It was around the time of the Wii Mario Kart. Was that 10 years ago?
Yeah.
Maybe 7 or 8 years ago.
I'd say like 9. I'd say like after the first full year Christmas it came out. I feel like that Mario Kart came out.
Well, but you had the F-Zero one that you could plug your GameCube
memory card
into there and transfer save data.
I never found one that actually moved. All the F-Zero, is it GX?
It might be GX. Maybe that's just the branding for the arcade thing that they do.
Yeah. All of the ones I ever played were stationary, but I heard there were moving ones out there. But yeah, like, I know they've had arcade games in the last 20 years. 30 years, I mean.
I remember playing a Mario pinball machine.
Oh, really?
An old, it was the yellow color classic Mario sort of thing. But it was this little pinball machine. I've seen some pinball collectors have that one.
I've never even heard of that.
I'll show it to you.
I just think it's wild that they have 3 games in 1 year. I think it's one.
Well, there's also a Mario Party arcade game that's in Japan right now too.
What?
Yep.
Okay, well, I'm hesitant because the last 2 Mario Parties have sucked.
Oh, I doubt that it's going to be a good... It's probably going to be like the Olympic one.
Everyone's in a car? Or just... Is it all mini games?
I honestly don't know. I just know that they're doing that. Here's one. Okay, so there's 2 different ones. So here's a blue one. And then that yellow one, I remember playing this one. It's one of those shorter pinball machines. So it's like a kid's pinball machine.
It's got, like, Mario World text on the side.
Yeah, I was thinking, for whatever reason, it was
it looks like short 80s pudgy 80s Mario.
Yeah, I guess in my memory, I remember having that one. I had a little kid's plastic
I remember that
machine too.
One of those cheap ones.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, here in the States, arcades aren't a big deal, you know.
No, I wish they were a bigger deal. It also depends on like what region you're in. And where you live, if you can even find an arcade place. Our little barcade is about to celebrate its first year of life. First full year of life. Yeah, wow. Tappers. It
was so late that we finally went there.
Yeah, I know. We both went there like 3 months ago, and it was packed, which is good. But they had a good selection of games.
A lot of great classic arcade games.
Yeah, there was like Gauntlet 2 and... Was it Gauntlet 2 or Gauntlet 1? I think it was Gauntlet 2. There's a lot of really good stuff there. I only mentioned one game by name, but you know, the double screen 6-player X-Men.
Yeah, they had the X-Men one. They had the SNK multi-machine where I got to play Bust a Move.
Was Metal Slug on that? Metal Slug.
I think Metal Slug was on there.
Yeah.
They had they had Pong.
Zaxxon.
They had Zaxxon. They had Dig Dug. I mean, they got everything. It's good.
Yeah. Old Punch Out machine. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Street Fighter 2 and MK.
Yep. So some more games I've been playing this week. I did a VR game called Oh My Genesis.
All right.
It's
Does
not
it
a
have
good
anything
game.
to do with the Mega Drive?
No. It's like a weird little, very shallow life simulator RTS thing, kind of like Populous or Black and White.
Uh-huh.
You have this spherical planet that you just are supposed to you have your magic hands. It's kind of like Black and White in that way, where you have certain spells that you can do with your hands, that one will make rain and trees will appear, and you pick up these little people to put them in a place to get wood, and does that.
Yeah.
It's so shallow though, and you have to play. I think you have to buy each planet individually. They're each $3. It's a really weird marketing scheme for it. It feels like a demo, and yeah, it's the little pink pixie girl that guides you through it, and she pretty much. The issue with the game is that it guides you through everything.
So you just feel like you're playing a tutorial all the time.
Yeah, the whole game just feels like a tutorial, where it is in order to complete these levels, do this list of things, and it doesn't give you any leeway into stuff. I had really bad head tracking with it. It's not a great game.
Yeah. Where did you play this on?
It was a PSVR. Okay. Did I mention that?
No.
Did I say it was a VR game?
No.
Okay.
So this is
Maybe
okay.
I did. Okay, PSVR game. Sorry.
It's like Godfinger, but in VR. Did you play Godfinger?
No, I didn't play Godfinger.
It's like a really early free-to-play iPhone game, 2009 maybe.
Yeah, but this Oh My Genesis is not a good game. I know there's a game, I think it's called Tethered, that is it's like $30, but apparently it's a good game that seems similar to that. That's been a popular thing with the PSVR stuff right now, is sort of those God games, where you're like trying to help cultivate a civilization in some form.
Because it's easy to pass that off in exposition as disembodied hands.
Yeah, you don't need a story. It's like, you are the God, help these people.
You don't need to explain like where your physical being is if you're just a god.
Another game I played, Overcooked.
I want to play Overcooked really bad.
Overcooked is so good.
Really?
I picked it up last night. They have it on sale on PSN right now. And I told my wife about it. That's the only reason I bought it, is because I was like, I know my wife will like this. She loves Diner Dash on mobile.
Yeah.
And we've been wanting to find a co-op game that we can play together. I've got, I play typically single player games. It's just the kind of games that I play. She likes playing her Sims games, and she said the same way. She likes single player games too. So pick that up.
Like single player or local multiplayer?
What do you mean?
Like everyone in a room playing a game together. Like those are the kind of multiplayer games I like. Not like online.
Yeah, I'm not big on the online stuff. I don't like playing with strangers online. That's my thing.
We're Nintendo. We're not used to it.
Yeah, we're not used to playing the internet. What's that?
What is it? Sorry, but yeah.
Overcooked is great though. It starts off so simple.
The story is amazing.
She skipped through the story. Oh. She just wanted to get right to it. I know it was like, it starts in the apocalypse where you're feeding a giant spaghetti monster.
Okay, so the devil basically comes to destroy the world, but you have to appease him with food. But you've never cooked before.
Yeah, you didn't know what you were doing.
So you're really shitty and you doomed the world.
So your boss, King Onion, sends you back in time to learn how to cook.
Yes. So like 30 years in the past to become like a master chef or something.
Yeah.
And you have to prepare for the devil.
And it's so good though. It's really simple. All you really have is you move the joystick to move your character around, press X to pick up items, and then square to interact with them. So that could be it's basically either chopping things up or cleaning dishes.
Yeah.
And you have to work together to fill out the orders that are filling up on the top screen. And it starts off super simple. You've got this big open area where it's like, you've got it marked. You go here to get your food, put them on the prep area, put them on the plates, put the plates over here, sort of thing. But after like 2 levels, it starts mixing things up where it's like, okay, clearly you have a handle on it now, where you're on like a ship, a pirate ship sort of thing, and then it starts to sway. It starts to sway, and then the area that you're working at, like the tables start to move. And you're like, one person will inevitably get stuck in the middle while the other person has to run around. They're like, shit, I was on the outside this time, so I got to run around to the other side. And then there's a level where it is literally in a circle, and it's so narrow that only one person can go. So you have to constantly keep moving in a circular pattern around the map. Otherwise, you're going to block the other person. And then the last one that we played that we had to give up on because we played like six levels in a row, and that game gets stressful.
Yeah,
because it's fun to play together, but you also get mad at each other
because you're like, you just got to chop that fucking shit up right now.
It's like, go get the tomatoes. What are you tomatoes?
Just food is dying in the window.
And what happens in the last one that we played was it looked totally normal, and then an earthquake happened. And then part of the level gets raised up in the air, and you can't, like, if you're on the lower area, you can't get up on the higher area.
So you have to already be in the higher area?
You have to be prepared to, like, move stuff onto this area so when the earthquake happens, you can still prep stuff. And then what happened where we gave up was one of us fell off, and we were both on the bottom area, and things started catching on fire because they were burning. And my wife was just like, nope, I got to take a break from this. I was like, we're going to come back to this eventually, right? Because I fucking love that. She was like, no, this is an amazing game. I love this. I'm too stressed out right now. I can't play this.
I really want to play this because, like, by trade, I am a cook. And I like, it sounds so great to me. Like, I haven't had a chance to experience this, but I really, really want to.
So, I also played a game, Let It Die, which I'll talk about that next time because I really want to go into that. I've only played it for about an hour and a half. I'm loving it. It's Suda51's latest game.
Yes.
Free to play game on PS4. It's like, really weird, but
it feels like I've heard people say like I actually want to give it money because I don't hate it.
Yeah.
And like I want to give it money like it. I don't know.
I want to give it money, but not for just the gyms that they sell.
Right.
I want to give it money to unlock maybe some costumes or something that don't break.
Yeah.
But I'll get into that more next week because what I really want to talk about is Final Fantasy 15.
Do you have it?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I put like 20 hours into that game
really?
last week.
Okay. Dish, because so your dad sends you out on a road trip before your wedding, or are you heading to your wedding?
So here's the thing: if you're going into Final Fantasy 15, watch the Brotherhood 5-part anime, and watch Kingsglaive, the Final Fantasy movie. Brotherhood is really good.
Okay.
Kingsglaive is not.
I've not heard of either of these.
Okay, when they announced, they had a big thing earlier this year when they were saying when the game was going to be released. It got delayed, of course.
Yeah.
But then they also said, oh, here's some new things. And one thing they said was, we are doing a 5-part anime that will give you a background on the guys.
Mm-hmm.
The bros. And
because they're not going to spend enough time with these guys
over
the course of this game.
It's a story. You get information about these characters before. What the anime tells you is who these people are, why are they with Noctis, the main character.
Yeah.
And it's great.
Okay.
Like, I felt the need to watch this before my shipment of the game got delayed. So as soon as I did, I was like, well, god damn it, I was so excited to jump into it. I'll watch the anime then. Watch all the animes through, and my favorite one is probably Prompto's. He's the blonde one that everyone was just like, everyone saw him before and they're annoyed by him. But I love Prompto because of his little anime episode. Kingsglaive is the latest Final Fantasy movie that you can buy on Blu-ray.
Really?
I bought it digitally. I just rented it digitally on the PlayStation Store.
Hopefully they didn't sink that much money into it.
Oh no, it's okay. The movie,
because they're never going to do that again.
No, they will.
What, sink their entire company into a movie?
This is the third time they've done it. Of course, they're going to do it again.
Well, made a movie, but not like, that's what I'm saying. They didn't put as much money as they did into Spirits Within into this, did they?
I don't know, because this movie looks incredible.
Really?
Looks incredible. The story is fucking stupid. The voice acting is fucking terrible.
Did they get notable people or no?
Aaron Paul plays the main character.
See, this is why the problem is they got notable people.
Lena
go to Vancouver and get it all done.
Headley plays the princess. She is she's from Game of Thrones. She's the one queen. I can't remember her name.
Oh yeah, Cersei.
Cersei, yeah. Sean Bean is in it. He plays the king.
Of course.
Good. They have some good headlining voice actors on that, but then they also have some really fucking shitty ones. And this is a problem that the game itself has, that the American voices just don't fit. It's like, I can deal with it, but whenever it's like watching the person, looking at someone's face, talking, and hearing the voice is like, I don't like that. But Kingsglaive tells you some really important stuff that the game itself is missing. That you'll have it where, like, Chapter 3 comes around, and then Princess Lunafreya is suddenly walking through this gate, and she's like, here's the magic ring. In the game, if you didn't watch that, you're like, what the fuck is this? They don't mention this at all.
Like, of course there's a magic ring. Let's move on.
But that's what Kingsglaive is all about. It's about this magic ring, basically. And it goes through all this stuff, and it's like, what? I don't fucking get it.
I don't have this much time.
Yeah.
I mean, this is already going to be like a 100-hour game. It's Final Fantasy.
Right. And I've sunk about 20 hours into it, and I fucking love this game.
Really?
Because it is so much fun to play. Like, the story... Now, what I love about how their approach is with the story is that you are a prince who is taking a road trip to go marry this princess as part of it's a political thing. It's sort of merging two kingdoms together, that kind of stuff. Yeah. And you have your posse with you.
Your entourage.
Your entourage, basically. You have the main guy is Noctis. He's Prince Noctis. Then you have his best friend, Prompto. You have their butler, Ignis, who they call Iggy, which I think is great. And he's got a weird British accent. My favorite thing is whenever he's the cook, and every time he gets a new recipe, he's like, I've discovered a new recipe. Like, the way he says it is awesome. And then there's Gladiolus, who is the bodyguard. He's the one that's like shirtless. He's just got the jacket on. You can see his abs.
Does he have white hair?
No, that's Prompto. Prompto's the blonde one. Gladiolus is probably my favorite. I got a little bit of a man crush for him. But the game is so much fun to play. And it's great because it's like... like I was about to say earlier before I got distracted by Gladiolus's abs.
Mm-hmm. Well, that happens to us all.
The story... You get this in a lot of games where it's like you're playing through this story and you have to know everything that is going on in this world. It's important that by the end you know everything that happened in this world and all this stuff. I love the idea that you leave your kingdom, you're going on a road trip basically with your buddies. It's like a bachelor party sort of thing.
Because like your dad was like, well, when I was getting married, I did this with my friends.
Yeah, it was like a pilgrimage kind of thing.
You have to go be me.
Yeah,
live my life.
Exactly. And then
all right, Dad.
You leave there, you're going on this trip, and then you hear over like a radio that something happens. So then it's like, you know, I'm not going to spoil it. Something happens. You got to turn around. Then it's like, okay, well, you're missing out on these things, but it's like, that makes sense. Like, I love the idea of, well, I was busy off doing these things and all this shit happened. It's not so much that I need that stuff explained. And I think that rather than saying it's like, oh, it's a cop-out, I accept that because I'm just having a good time with my bros.
It's like learning about the whichever GTA world you're in when you're playing like Grand Theft Auto through the radio, because they will tell you stuff that's happening.
Right. The gameplay itself is great. It's super simplified. I mean, it's like it doesn't play like this is a whole new RPG system.
And you don't control your posse at all.
Yeah. Well, you get you control the main character Noctis, and then you can build up like points as you're battling that you can do like a hotkey that you can tell them to do a special attack.
Okay.
So you can build those things up. You can chain those attacks together at certain times. The big part of this game is weapon types. Mm-hmm. Certain enemies are weak to weapon types as well as certain types of magic. Mm-hmm. And you can hold up to 4 things at once. So you want to have a variety to it. You want to have a dagger. You want to have a pole arm, and then you want to have like an axe, and then maybe some kind of magic or gun or something like that. And then you can switch things out. If you stun them, then you can switch over to a heavy thing. So while they're knocked out, because the heavy thing takes a second to attack, and then they can stun you if you just pull out the heavy attack immediately.
That sounds like a cool system.
It's really fast. It's very rhythm based in a way. Not like hit it with the beat, but sort of like you got to have a rhythm to it. Visually, the world looks really cool, but it's so hard coming off of games like Uncharted and Rise of the Tomb Raider for this, where it's like in the grand scheme it has a good art direction, but then it's like everything about it is just. And I'm playing this on the PS4 Pro, and playing it in 4K mode. It's like.
You can tell how long they've been working on this game. Yeah,
it definitely feels like this is a game that, you know, had it come out a couple years ago, this would have blown everyone away. But it's like, well, Naughty Dog has already been around here showing off their stuff. This is kind of dated. It doesn't bother me too much. It's something I can look past easily enough.
Well, it was announced like 10 years ago. Wait, 8 years ago?
No, it was 10. It was announced 10 years ago. It was announced, I believe. God, it was almost 10 years ago, because it was announced as Final Fantasy Versus 13, and it was supposed to release it on day and date with 13.
And then it was spun off, and it kept changing directors, it kept changing teams, they kept reworking it.
But yeah, it's a great game. Every minute I'm just thinking about wanting to jump back into that. Which it does suck because I've got a bunch of other games to play. I've got Last Guardian sitting on my shelf, begging to be played.
How did the cat get in here?
I don't know. Maybe there was another cat that we.
I thought we threw him out.
No,
well, I know that's not the one we threw out, but I didn't know he was in here.
Yeah, they're apparently.
And we've been doing this for over half an hour, and he just appeared.
He was just chilling. I guess
Jack, you're a dick.
But yeah, that's all I'll talk about. I've taken up a lot of time here.
Well, it's all right. You played a lot of stuff. Yeah. I did not. I did put some time into Outland, which was the games with gold game for the first half.
Switch colors on that one, right?
It like light and dark, red and blue.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's interesting.
It's fucking tough.
Kind of.
I mean, it gets tough. I played it when
I'm sure
it
gets
out.
really tough. It does feel like a 5-year-old game. It's very Metroidvania, but
not enough though. That's how I.
That's the problem. Is like it's a Metroidvania game with the. I mean, the map isn't that great. It's not designed well.
Doesn't it show you a general area where you're at?
No, there is a map. It shows you what to do, but it's hard to differentiate between like where you are. Like it doesn't look much different. Like if you go, there's different areas. So you go into the underworld, and that looks like the underworld. But it would be easy to just not know where you're going, and eventually you would recognize it. The problem is the game holds your hand the whole way.
Yeah.
So it shows you exactly where you need to go. So it's not really Metroidvania, even though it's set up to be exactly like a Metroidvania game. You get power-ups, you get new abilities. I just got the jump, like where if you're in the air and you press down an A, you will slam to the ground, which will open up rocky floors. To open up into new areas that you haven't been before. It wants to be Metroidvania. It's just not designed well enough.
Yeah.
The controls are pretty tight though. Like the running, the jumping. There are wall kicks. It all controls pretty well. I kind of like the light and dark. You have to switch between them because some bad guys you can't hurt unless you're the opposite element that they are, and there are bad guys shooting things at you that are either blue or red, and you're immune to them when you're that color. I want to play more of it.
Have you gotten any boss battles?
Yeah, I played the Golem, I believe, first one.
I liked the boss battles were probably my favorite part.
Okay. I that's what I was holding out hope for, was that there would be some cool boss battles. The first one was alright, but I really have to pee.
Alright, be right back. And we're back.
Yeah, I want to go back to it. I want to play more of it.
You know what you should play more of?
What?
Beyond Good and Evil.
I know I should. when I don't have 60,
keep bringing that up.
I'm in 60-hour weeks right now. Hopefully that won't last too much longer. But I'm amazed that I even got any time in with Outland. And I'm just holding myself over until Burnout Paradise comes out.
Yeah.
In 7 days, and then of course Super Mario Run will come and save me from my daily Clash Royale addiction. I'm really holding out hope that that's going to be the thing that breaks the fucking spell, because I can't stop playing that goddamn game every day, and I really want to.
So did you see that Super Mario Run will require an internet connection?
Okay.
While you're playing it?
Okay.
Okay.
I have data. I'm fine.
Okay, that's fine. I know a lot of people were complaining about it. Like that, I saw one post by some game developer where they were making the joke about how it turns out a lot of people that write for games media take the subway, like because everyone on news media were complaining about it.
Yeah.
About the data thing, where it's like, oh, this is gonna be a problem. It's like, well, not for everybody. Like, I'm not gonna have that problem.
Yeah.
I don't think it's gonna use a lot of data.
And this is the same people that were complaining about Pokemon Go every time. Like, I transit to work. Like, well, you're lucky because we don't have a system like that where we live.
Yeah. A lot of times it's like you're lucky that, okay, when you when you get off the train or something like that, you've got a lot of Pokestops around you probably.
Yeah.
And a lot of other people don't.
You'll be fine. We don't have a good transit system here, and it pisses me off all the time. And then, no, never mind. Never mind.
Did you find time to play anything else?
No. I really wanted to. We had some crap we had to deal with this weekend, and I had one day off, and that got eaten up by other things. I did go see Nathaniel Ratliff and the Nathaniel Ratliff and the Night Sweats with concert last night. That was pretty awesome. And then I meant to bring it up last week. This has nothing to do with video games, but
not on the show then. What do you got?
If you are a fan of Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Z Abridged just introduced Hercule last week, and it was fucking glorious. And Dende's back, and that was also awesome. But god damn it, Hercule got like one line, and it was amazing. And if you haven't watched Dragon Ball Z Abridged, go watch it. They're awesome.
That has something to do with video games. There's a lot of Dragon Ball Z video games.
Yeah, then they play a lot.
Does voice work on one of the recent Dragon Ball
movies?
Games?
Yeah, and games. I think they put work into Xenoverse, so they probably were in Xenoverse too.
Yeah, probably.
They play a lot of Dragon Ball Z games on their channel, which is pretty great.
Bonus plug.
Yeah. Hey guys, you guys are awesome. So keep doing what you're doing because it's been almost 10 years. I guess it's been over 8 now. Shit.
What do you want to talk about first? Switch rumors or PSX?
Let's get to PSX. Let's get that out of the way.
Sorry,
Sony fans. I didn't mean to sound dismissive like that.
Oh no! See, I'm a huge Sony fan, so I mean, I have things to say about a lot of this stuff.
I love all video games. I just happen to be a huge Nintendo nerd.
Yeah. PSX happened, and during PSX they have their, what they call the showcase, which is basically a mini E3 focused just on Sony. They fucking killed it.
From what I hear.
Yeah. So, some things that got announced on here. They opened with Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, which is going to be a standalone DLC for Uncharted 4. But it's not Uncharted 4: The Lost Legacy, it's Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. It will focus on a character, Chloe, who was kind of a side character in Uncharted 2.
Yeah, so this is like Assignment Ada or whatever that was. What was that called?
Oh, yeah, like the little bonus thing in 4.
Resident Evil 4.
6 had that too, where after you completed
Operation
everything,
Ada or something like that.
Yeah, where you played as Ada Wong. It looked gorgeous. We don't really know much about it. I know that Nadine, who was sort of the villain in the 4th one, not really like a straight up villain, but she was like helping the villain, but she had her own motivations. She's in this one. Glad to see her back. She's a really cool character. Didn't get enough time in 4, in my opinion. We also had Crash Bandicoot: The Insane Trilogy. Have you seen
so
this?
They're doing all 3 of them?
Yeah, they're doing thing is, my experience with Crash is playing a couple of the demos on the demo discs over and over and over. I've never played through any of the full games.
I haven't either. I'm pretty sure I've actually played the game when a friend brought over a PlayStation back in the day. Crash is alright. I have no huge love for it.
Yeah,
it's a tube platformer, I guess. I don't know.
It's a platformer. It's weird because it's like you really wouldn't consider it a 3D platform.
Right.
It is 3D graphics, but it's 2D. So it's like that 2.5D sort of thing that they use a lot. Looks gorgeous. Like they are literally redoing all of the first 3 games, but in this new, colorful, updated graphics.
And they got the permission of Activision to do this.
Yeah.
Now I wonder how much they had to shell out for that.
It's gonna be a Sony exclusive too.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I assume so. Yeah.
They also announced there was a sort of a 3-pack sort of announcement that they made of.
So Parappa the
Rapper, Patapon,
cool.
and Loco Roco.
I have wanted to play both Patapon and Loco Roco really badly.
I've got all 3 Patapons on my Vita. I love Patapon. I wish that they were
Patapon.
Patapon. I really wish that they would do maybe Patapon 2 or 3, because the first Patapon is, it's good, but it's like there's so many mechanics that they added in the later ones that just really made the game great.
Mm-hmm.
Loco Roco's really cool.
It's blob and tiny blob game.
Yeah, like you control the game. You don't really control the main blob. It's kind of like Katamari in a way, where you're like
tilting
sucking
the
up
world.
things. Yeah, you tilt the world and the blob sort of rolls through it. and you can either tilt or you can, if you hold down both triggers and let go, it sort of pops the world so they jump up in the air.
Okay.
But then there's Parappa the Rapper, which is
classic.
Yeah, classic. That was another game I only have experience playing demos of.
Yeah.
I might
Me
pick
too.
this one up because since then I've grown to love rhythm games. I was bad at rhythm games back then.
And also, like, it wasn't something that we understood very well. It was kind of like one of the original rhythm games.
It was like the first Japanese rhythm game to come to America.
Yeah.
Before that, there wasn't really much. There may have been like some PC things, but nothing.
I really had no idea like what I was doing because I'd never seen anything like that before.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever had a rhythm game before that where it was, as we know, rhythm games where you have a line moving and you got to hit the things in sync with it. Sort of thing.
We didn't have Taiko Drum Master at that point.
No, we didn't.
But I'm sure they did.
Oh yeah. Drink time. Then we have, well, obviously the biggest announcement of the whole thing, Knack 2.
Yeah. Oh wait. Yeah. Oh no. Fake out.
So Knack 1 sold a lot.
Yeah,
it was a launch title,
and I made fun of my brother for buying it.
I bought it when it came out. I returned it like 2 days later.
It was the red steel of its time.
Yeah. I think the thing that put me off more than anything else was Knack's voice. For whatever reason, they gave him a super deep voice. And it didn't sound right for this little guy.
I have completely forgotten what Knack is because when I saw the lead up to the launch of the PS4, I just immediately saw through the hype and was like, no, this game, no. And my brother was like, I'm gonna get it. It's gonna be so awesome. And I'm just like, no.
And since
no, don't.
then,
and now I have completely forgotten. So what is Knack?
Knack is like, okay, when it was announced, it looked like a Pixar movie, or not a Pixar movie. It looked like a DreamWorks movie, and that's honestly
that's not a good starting point.
But that's the thing. Is like you look at. There was always this thing of like whenever we jumped to new gen, where it was just like we're gonna see the dream realized of an interactive Pixar movie sort of thing. Closest thing so far that I've seen, Ratchet and Clank. Ratchet and Clank, the remake that they did, incredible.
It looks just like the movie Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, great game, great looking game. Knack, when I remember first seeing it, I was like, oh wow, that looks really good. And it was like, okay, some of that then they switch over. You can see the switch over to gameplay. It was like, that still looks really good. Definitely not Pixar. It didn't have that charm that you get. It's sort of like there's some
Fox
great
animation studio.
Yeah, there's
an
like
Ice Age quality to it.
There's great DreamWorks movies. There's great Fox ones, but it's like you look at those and it's like it doesn't have that heart. It doesn't have that not to say that they didn't put heart into it, but it doesn't have that feeling of like it's its own thing,
it's
living things.
Je ne sais quoi.
Yeah.
I don't know what. But yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But you play as this little weird experiment thing that using like ancient technology, they were able to create this creature that has the ability to suck up debris and make himself big, and he's basically like a cloud of, or almost like, think of like a tornado kind of thing where it sucks things up into itself, but it moves like a guy, and you get bigger as the game progresses, and it's like it has a sense of scale where you start off small, and then by the end of the level you're this giant thing like as big as a building.
Katamari.
But it doesn't have that freedom like Katamari,
Yeah.
where you can do it on your own. It is a linear path all the way through.
Okay.
I don't care about Knack 2. It's just, it's hilarious that they're doing it.
And we were wondering, I think while we were watching the Game Awards, they introduced Mark Cerny as
Yes.
as this guy at PlayStation and creator,
the
director,
chief engineer of the PS4 and creator of Knack.
Yeah, and you're like, that's a really odd thing for them, like for the kind of career that Mark Cerny has had. That is a really weird thing to announce him as.
Yeah.
A few days later, they're announcing Knack 2. And
yeah.
Like, I see now. That's what happened.
Yeah. A little bit after that, we had an announcement that, honestly, I actually do care about, and I am super excited about. Ni no Kuni 2, Revenant Kingdom. Do you know about Ni no Kuni?
I know. I feel like the name is familiar, but that's a cop-out thing to say, so I'll just say no.
It was an epic RPG on the PlayStation 3 that was done by Level 5. They've done... Recently, they do Yokai Watch.
Yeah.
But they teamed up with Studio Ghibli.
Okay.
It's the Studio Ghibli game.
Yeah.
This one, they don't have Studio Ghibli with them now.
Okay.
So we're not gonna get the full-on anime cutscenes. It doesn't matter because the game still just looks incredible.
And Level 5 makes some really cool stuff.
They do. They made some of my favorite third-party games, but they still haven't made Dark Cloud 3 yet, so I'm upset with them still. Although there is a promise in the trailer, we saw a thing where you play as the king of this town. That at the end of it, it looks like at the end of the trailer, it looks like the kingdom is destroyed, and he says, "We can rebuild it together." And I was like, "Dark Cloud!"
And then you frothed with rage and passed out.
God, I want Dark Cloud 3 so bad. The game looks gorgeous. It's a real-time RPG that in the first game you did it almost played like Pokemon. You collected creatures and they would fight for you, and you put a team together, you'd level them up, they would evolve, they would like transform if you got into certain levels or did things with them. Great game, amazing soundtrack, beautiful visuals. And now we're getting it on the PS4. We're getting the sequel that it's not even going to be like a sequel. It takes place in this world, but it's like a completely different story. I love that. Really excited for that one. They've given it a 2017 release date, so hopefully they hit that. I hope it's not delayed to 2018. Then there was the big reveal at the end.
Is this Last of Us 2?
Last of Us Part 2.
Okay.
That part just makes it so good.
It kills me that I haven't played Last of Us. I really want to play The Last of Us.
I mean, when I used to write reviews, I gave that a 10.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that game. It's one of the greatest games ever.
I had a roommate with the PS3, and we stopped being roommates right around the time that game came out, and I was so mad because I was like, I'm actually going to get to play a Naughty Dog game at release, and no.
Yeah, I won't go too far into it since you haven't played it, and you really should, so I don't want to spoil anything. Did you see the trailer or anything for it?
For 2?
For Part 2?
No, I have not.
Okay. I won't really say anything. It looks incredible.
I missed PSX this year. I feel bad, but I had a lot on my plate.
You don't have a PS4 right now, so it's not really like... You're not going to watch it and just be like, oh yeah, okay, I got to get that game.
Yeah.
That's how I was. I was on my Amazon account just being like, pre-order. But yeah, they closed it with that. Looks incredible. So excited for it. Probably won't get it for 3 years.
Yeah. They're like, hey, it's out there.
So we can switch over to the Switch. Reggie brought a Switch over to Jimmy Fallon, his show.
Yeah.
First time we've seen the actual Switch hardware in action.
Mm-hmm.
The video that they initially unveiled it on, it was all post. All the video stuff was put in there afterwards. No one was actually playing it then.
But it seemed to move over as quick when you immediately when you take it out of the dock. It looked like he had to press something to enable.
I think I think the game pauses whenever you pull it out.
Right. Okay. That makes sense. Did he touch the screen? Did you see if he did that or not?
I doubt it. I don't think... I would say no, only because I don't think Breath of the Wild is going to have any touch screen stuff.
Do you still think there's going to be a touch screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm still totally... Yeah, there's going to be a touch screen on there.
I just don't think it makes sense. Because how...
Do you have a touch screen?
If you have a touch screen, that means you're segmenting what you can do with the system. Because if you want to play it on your TV... You can't play a touchscreen game while it's plugged into your TV.
You can if one of the Joy-Con controllers has an IR sensor and you can point at it like the Wii.
Do you think that's like a good way to do it? Because if you
but I think that it's an option that they're going to take.
I don't know. I think if that thing has a touchscreen, it gets significantly more foggy as to how well this is going to work.
Here's the thing. when you have this new hardware, throw a bunch of stuff at it. That doesn't mean you have to fully utilize it. The trackpad on the PS4 controller is cool, but
no one
doesn't make sense to use it in most situations, and it doesn't ever get used.
6-axis. Lair destroyed Factor 5. Fucking Lair. Factor 5 was awesome.
Yeah.
I have a fondness for some of their stuff that they did.
I mean, I only played their GameCube stuff.
Yeah, and it was some of the best looking launch stuff on the GameCube was that goddamn it, Rogue Squadron was so good, and Lair destroyed them. Excuse me. Now we're back to yes.
So yeah, we finally got to see the system in someone's actual hands. That someone who, wasn't being, well, I don't know how to phrase it. Someone that would actually be holding the system like that, like actually playing it. So we got to see how it looked, how it would maybe feel in your hands. It all looked good to me.
And the only thing I kept thinking was like Jimmy, you need to stop freaking out. This is the one chance you're going to get to play Zelda for probably 6 months at least. Go start playing.
Oh no, he got to play some more in the back.
Oh, okay, all right, fine.
No, I don't know that officially, but yeah.
But I'm living, well, perhaps, but I'm living vicariously through him from what I saw, and I was like, just do something, please, just for me, because I really want to play that Zelda game so bad. And he did eventually get to do they showed him how to do the shield sled or the shield snowboarding
shield
or whatever.
surf.
Yeah, shield surf.
Yeah.
So I felt a little bit better, but I was just sitting I really I want to play Zelda already. Let's just get it over with.
I'm at that point where every time I see or think about it, I'm just like, well, I got to start playing some of the old Zeldas again. It's just that time where I got to start over on some old Zelda games and play through them.
Yeah.
But then it's just like, no, don't. You have newer games that you have a shelf of games that you need to play that you paid for. Play those ones. Don't play the Zelda games that you've played 50 times already.
In years past, December became my Ocarina of Time month.
Sure.
Where that was when it got segmented off. I figured at some point that I had played that game at least once a year for about a decade, if not more.
Yeah.
And it's somewhere along the way, December just naturally became, well, I'm beating Ocarina of Time again.
I remember that I got to a point with it that I could get all the way up to getting the first 3 gemstones without getting touched.
Really?
It was I got so good at it. Yeah, it was just
you're there.
It was I had the timing down on so many things where it's I could get through all of that. It wasn't until I got to the Forest Temple that I would start to get messed up.
Forest Temple's ass.
Yeah. But up until then, it was I could do a perfect run on it.
I had friends in middle school that called me late at night going, I'm stuck in the Dodongo Cavern. Like, okay, so here's what you do. And go this way, turn left, bomb that. Don't touch that chest. It's got ice in it. And I'm just how do you know this? Just don't ask questions. Just do what I say.
That is not important right now.
Don't worry about it. If you need 5 rupees, there's 5 rupees in that chest. Otherwise, fuck it.
So, with the Switch, there's a bunch of rumors. I'm going to knock some things out that aren't rumors, that these are confirmed things.
Okay.
Real quick, some odd thing, Nintendo has put out a bounty for any glitches that can be found on the 3DS. Up to $20,000.
So, why now?
I think it's in prep for the Switch. I think they're trying to pad out their infrastructure as much as they can to figure out all the little holes and everything.
So, 3DS to Switch communication?
I don't think it's that. I think what we're going to see is them just sort of building up their knowledge.
The twilight of its life. Just making sure it's locked down as it slowly goes down that long dark road. Yeah,
and this is just 3DS. Apparently, they don't give a shit about the Wii U.
Yeah,
people can crack it. It's fine.
They just don't want people emulating it, or.
Well, I don't know specifically. It's something. I mean,
Well, not emulating it, but modding it so that you can
flashing it so they can put ROMs of 3DS games on to not emulate but still play it on there. Similar similar.
So that you can play your, NES ROMs or Super Nintendo ROMs or something like that too?
It's like at least once a month you get an update that says stability fixes or something on the system.
Yeah.
Which that, and it's constantly like, if you follow that stuff, you'll hear, oh, so-and-so has this new exploit where this game, if you just put this save...
I know,
this
it's so
save
weird.
data on your SD card, you play this game, you can easily root the system.
And all of a sudden you got the homebrew channel.
Yeah. And then suddenly that game disappears from the eShop. 2 months later, it's back up, and there's a bunch of stuff, and it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
So it's like they put this thing in quarantine, rip it apart, and I think they're trying to streamline that.
Yeah.
I think that this is probably something that's going to carry on onto the Switch. That they're starting it with the 3DS, and that's something that's going to keep going.
Okay.
That if they have stuff, because I've heard that it's like this is what hackers want more than anything else.
Rewards for...
They want to be rewarded.
Yeah, do you want to hack for the man? Then here's your chance.
Well, it's like with Microsoft. I don't know if they still do that, but it used to be a thing that they would hire the hackers. They would give the hackers jobs in their IT.
Yeah.
And it's a great way to do that. That's how they should be doing that stuff. I had a friend in high school that he messed around with some shit. He was like 2 years above me, but he was like screwing around with the systems that they had, the servers that they had in the school, and the computer and all that. And then a few years later, after he graduated, he's working at the school in their like IT sort of thing. And it's like, yeah,
they'll snatch you up.
Yeah. So yeah, that's an interesting thing, but up to $20,000.
It depends. I mean, I wonder what that would merit. Like, if you only get $20,000 if you fixed everything.
I think it's like it has to do with the size of the hole that they find.
Yeah.
And if it's all based on stuff that they had no idea of, because they said that if anyone says anything that they're even aware of, they're not going to pay for it. It's like it's only fresh information. Not even if it's like, oh yeah, there's this thing here. There's this exactly. If they didn't know that single aspect of this exploit, nah. Mm. That's just how that stuff works. They can just be like, that's not worth it.
Just head out into the 3DS jungle and try to take one down.
One other thing that it's not officially Switch, but I wanted to bring this up because I'm a big fan of it. Do you know THQ Nordic?
Right.
Some guy bought up the name THQ and made his own publishing company, basically buying up all the old THQ IPs that no one else wanted when they liquidated.
Right, and then they changed their name to THQ Nordic.
Yeah, they changed it to THQ Nordic.
Because they own the majority of their catalog and the name.
One IP that they recently got is Sphinx and the Cursed Mummy, which I don't know if you ever played that one.
I remember that. Is that like kind of an adventure-y game?
It's very Zelda-like.
Yeah.
You play as two different characters. One is like the Sphinx
and one's the
king,
cursed mummy,
and one is his friend that ends up dying and becomes a mummy, and it's like kind of slapstick comedy where it's like he can die constantly and all that. I loved that game so much. I actually just recently rebought it on GameCube like a few months back, and then when I heard this news, I was just like, I've got to get this game because I know that it'll never be released on Virtual Console. They'll never do a sequel. And then the CEO or whoever from THQ Nordic said they brought it up, and they said they want to make a sequel to it, and they think that Nintendo would be a very good fit for it. And I totally agree.
Wow.
And so we could be seeing a sequel to that on the Switch, and I'm very happy about that one. An official Switch announced game that we have.
Yes.
Seasons of Heaven.
The French game?
They are a French team that moved to California.
Okay.
I tried so hard to look up who these people were. I couldn't find anything on them. I found one video of like the head of their team being like, here's our studio. We love lots and lots of video games. And he's like making jokes throughout it that just aren't landing. And it's like, okay.
All your base, guys.
Yeah. But they're just like, we love Nintendo games. We love horror games. And you just see like, they have these old games sitting on a shelf somewhere and all these like toys and figurines and stuff like that.
Big old thumbs up.
They do a thing where they're just like, the guy's like pointing at this. He's like, this game right here means a lot to us, and the camera sort of moves towards it, and you can see beyond the shelf, and you see a screenshot of like someone working on a computer, and he's like, oh no, don't look at that sort of thing. And it's like, okay.
Well, at least they know where, at least they know where they come from, at least where video games come from, when people were actually doing this kind of hokey shit in the 90s.
Yeah, but I tried to look up anything on them, and I couldn't find anything. They could just be a startup.
Yeah.
They could just, they haven't. It says they.
And they're making
they
a game
pitch
based
it
on
as
a book.
I'm pretty sure the head of the team wrote this book.
Oh.
Because whenever I looked up that guy's name, I kept finding that book on Amazon to buy.
Okay, so that makes total sense that he has started this company to make
the game of his book.
He's going the Shadows of the Empire route.
The only thing I was able to find was that they say that they are veterans of development veterans, not war veterans.
No. They fought in the French Foreign Legion.
Yeah, so there's that.
Well, you can't be French to fight in the French Foreign Legion.
Oh, okay.
Never mind.
There were some screenshots to go along with it. It's running on Unreal 4. It looks pretty, but I don't know.
Yeah,
there's nothing else you can really say about it.
Yeah, Unreal 4, on the Switch.
You want to hear some juicy Switch rumors?
I will listen to your juicy Switch rumors.
These all come from the usual suspects.
Okay.
Lord Dale, Eurogamer. I don't think any of these came from Emily Rogers, though, this time. Let's see. First one I have on here is that Dark Souls 3 will be coming to the Switch.
Okay.
And that if it sells well enough, that they will put the
catalog.
trilogy of
Nice.
Dark Souls games on the Switch.
I really want to play the first one.
It's a great game for that because I have not finished any of the Souls games. I get to a point where I'm like, okay, I'm good. I've enjoyed it up to this point, and now I just don't want to play anymore. I want something a little more lighthearted. But if I can, I'll start over on Dark Souls again if it means because the issue I've always had with them is finding the time. I got to sit down in front of my screen, start the game up, and
there's going to be a lot of reading.
There's going to be a lot, yeah. Waiting for it to load and everything. And if it's a thing that I can have on the go, I can sit on the couch while my wife's watching her shows or doing something like that. I'd love that. Giving me more time to play. It's always been one of those games that I have to really make time to play it.
Yeah.
And be in the right mood. But it's if I can just basically grind, chill on the couch and grind on it for a little bit. You just grind all up on it. Yeah, I'm all for that.
It knows what it wants.
The other thing we have...
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I hope that's the case. That'd be great.
Yeah.
The other thing we have is, and this was kind of confirmed in the Jimmy Fallon thing, is that the Switch will use USB-C, which is the latest form of USB, which is similar to...
USB 3.C?
Something like that, maybe. But this is, I guess, the plug is similar to the lightning cable that you have on an iPhone.
Okay.
Where it works both ways. You don't have to, you have that old USB joke of being putting it one way, oh, it didn't fit, flip it over, oh, it didn't fit, going back and forth, and forth until it suddenly fits in there. This is one of those that, the lightning cable, you can plug in whichever way.
Okay.
And apparently it's super fast.
Is, you mean charging or?
Charging.
Okay.
From what I've heard, it's something like a 7-minute charge can get you 3 hours of battery.
Oh.
Something like that. It
sounds like
sort of that ratio.
Batteries are going these days as they want them to be. They don't last long, but they charge real fast.
Right.
Hopefully this battery lasts a long time. But
along with that, the rumor is that with this powerful USB that charges fast, the Switch dock will, when you plug the system in, that power boost lets you basically sort of overclock the system. And that the dock has a fan in it, which I'm pretty sure I said something like that in one of our older episodes. That I'm pretty sure that's how that's going to work.
It seems like the only way. It's not actually giving it extra processing power. It's just letting it run at a higher efficiency
without melting.
Right.
Which makes total sense. I hope it's not loud. I hope it's not you pop it in.
Just got a mech in your living room.
And then the last rumor that I have here is that it pertains to the Switch's Virtual Console.
So this is a rumor?
Just a rumor right now.
Okay.
But it's one of those
I
rumors that everyone
confirmed
is...
or something.
No, there's no confirmation like that going on.
Yeah.
But this is
I
one
thought
of the
there were a
rumors
list of games. We're talking about GameCube Virtual Console.
Yes.
I thought that there was a list of like 4 games that were coming to this.
Nothing official, man. Nintendo has not officially said anything. They don't want... I'm sure that they were like iffy about the that one French developer saying they're making a game for it.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure they were just like, you were supposed to wait till January.
Yeah, but they're just like...
We are French, we do not care.
They're tiny and no one cares. And they're just off in the corner going like, haha, we're over here, we're being jerks.
Yeah.
And so they probably just don't really care very much. Okay. It's just more press.
But right now...
we run away home.
Right now, the rumored maybe launch games with the Virtual Console would be Super Mario Sunshine.
Cool.
Luigi's Mansion.
Cool.
And Melee. Super Smash Bros.
Yes,
Melee.
the best one. If that makes Melee online, then there's no way that'll happen because it's Virtual Console and it'll boot up into its own thing. But fuck, that's all I want is online Melee. I don't want to... I like Smash Brothers, but I got good, son, at Melee. Like, I had my shit down. I have not been as good at the subsequent ones as I was on Melee.
I think if that's the case, then Super Smash Brothers for the Switch will be like delayed. It'll be a fall game. And then at launch they'll give you Melee. So that'll tide you over until that one comes out. Which I know a lot of competitive people out there, that's all they're going to want. They're just going to want to get that GameCube adapter to plug directly into the system and play it that way.
And I have issues with GameCube because I used my Wii. And I believe I just need to get a new fan for it because it would just shut off after about 10-15 minutes.
Oh.
But then my fiance's Wii, I started using that to play games. I still have all my old memory cards with all my old saves from back in the day. And I forget what game I started to play. And it said, hey, this save file isn't working, and kicked me out to the back of the menu. And then it erased my game. And so I had the day off. I was going to just spend it playing old GameCube games. And so I put in a new game. The same thing happened. Erased my old save, like my 10-year-old save. And I ended up in a ball with like a bottle of rum on the couch. Like, I called her at work because I was like having this personal cry. I like games, guys, and I'm really sentimental about my shit. That's why I don't sell anything. And this one rocked me to my core. An hour ago, before we started this podcast, before you got here, I was running around because I wanted to play Super Game Boy.
Yeah.
And I could not find my Ziploc baggie full of Game Boy games. And on the outside, I was surprised at how calm I was being, because on the inside, I was losing my fucking mind, because I don't want to lose my old games. So I need a way to play GameCube games again. And if Virtual Console will sell me games I already own, you know what? That's fine. I need to get off my ass and fix that fan, because I still have a bunch of my old ones, and all my saves except for 2 games. I just saying, hey, if they do this, do it right, give me Beautiful Joe, I will happily buy that game again.
No, you're not going to get Beautiful Joe.
But I better.
No, because that was a Clover game, and even though Capcom, you're more likely to see Capcom license out the rights to Beautiful Joe to make a new Beautiful Joe game.
I don't want a new Beautiful
Joe
game.
Rather than getting the old one.
I want 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Because I haven't really actually played 2. I played the hell out of 1.
I did too.
I actually would get off, before the game came out, like the month before it came out, it was in a demo kiosk at Circuit City.
Yes,
and
I remember that demo.
Every day after school, before I went home, I would drive over to Circuit City and play that for like a half an hour. And then be like, I can't wait for this game, and head home.
I had a GameCube demo disc.
Really?
It had Beautiful Joe.
Where did you work? Did you, like, a Nintendo
rep
come by work?
No, I bought it at Meijer for like $5.
Really?
They were like selling this promo disc that had Beautiful Joe, Billy Hatcher, Splinter Cell, the second one, I think, Pandora Tomorrow, maybe?
Yeah.
Whichever one was like the first one to come to GameCube.
I kept skipping. I would just immediately go to the Beautiful Joe one. I don't think I played the other demos at all.
I want to say there was a fourth one on there, but I don't remember what it was. But I remember having that one, played that one. I played the Beautiful Joe demo over and over and over.
Oh man,
Same
that game
with Billy
is
Hatcher.
so good.
I bought all of those games except for Billy Hatcher.
Really?
And I love the Billy Hatcher demo. Just for whatever reason, I never picked the game up.
Billy Hatcher's weird.
It is, but I like. Weird
It's
games
all
like
right.
that.
It's just weird. I don't think Yuji Naka knows what to do with himself anymore, and hasn't for a while. I mean, I'm sure Dean will kick my ass the next time I see him, and he'll produce things. I was interested in Let's Tap, but I think it's a really cool idea.
Oh God, I forgot about that.
But I never played it. It's like an endless runner that you tap a box that a remote's sitting on.
Yeah, that's how you're supposed to play.
Yeah, but
why did they bring that mobile? That would have been perfect mobile.
It does sound like a really good mobile game. I don't know.
I'm not gonna worry about that.
Yeah, no. But virtual, I will. I keep waiting for them to nail down Virtual Console.
Yeah.
And I know the problems, like, it's licensing issues. That's why the Wii Virtual Console doesn't exist on the Wii U. Like,
but it does.
All the games they had, everything that was available on the Wii is not available on the Wii U.
No. Okay, I was thinking of the Wii games.
No, you can't buy Secret of Mana on Virtual Console anymore, but you could when the Wii Virtual Console was live.
Oh, another rumor that was going on is that with the Switch, you will be able to transfer your games over, but at a cost like what they did with the Wii to Wii U.
A cost?
Like $1 fee that you have to pay for like the upgraded version
to switch
of
it to what?
To switch your Virtual Console games
from
the
Wii
Wii U to the Switch.
Okay. I don't... Whatever. I didn't switch mine off of the Wii, and I'm glad I didn't, because they don't play as good.
I changed over like 2 of them, but it was like they had it discounted where it was only like 49 cents for them or something like that. So I did that. I think I did it for Paper Mario.
That might not be that bad. I have a bunch of side-scrolling shoot 'em up games that I don't want to take over to an HD system. I want to leave them where they are on standard definition, and that's fine with me because I'm not that kind of
purist.
Well, they kind of messed it up though. Just the way I don't know.
Go ahead.
Well, everyone on Retronauts did a good episode. Not to plug another podcast, but did a good episode about just the trail of tears that the Virtual Console has turned into in the past 10 years. And that was one of the things they brought up was that all of them switched their stuff over to the Wii U and all of them regretted it. And I was like, I didn't, because I didn't know if I could trust it or not.
The only issue that I've had with that of me being like upset with the quality was Majora's Mask on the Wii. The audio was busted.
Really?
There was something, because I think it has to deal with the expansion pack on the 64 one.
Oh, yeah.
That there was an issue where you got like crackling in some of the songs, and it was like, I can't do that.
No, that's unfortunate. That wasn't a launched one, was it?
No.
The Ocarina
I think
of Time
I even
was the
remember.
one.
I think I remember even seeing like on that game, and there's like a warning saying that there are issues with the emulation in it or something like that.
That's rough. I don't think it was like that on that GameCube Special Edition disc.
No, as far as I remember, that one was perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, was Majora's Mask on that one?
There was one that had one.
There were like 2 or 3.
There was Zelda, Adventure of Link, Ocarina, and Majora's Mask.
Are you sure it wasn't Master Quest?
No. I'm not thinking of Master Quest because that was different.
Okay.
This one had like 4 on it, and I don't know
where
the hell it is.
I had both at some point.
Well, I had Master Quest and I had this one, and it came that's the one that came with the demo of Wind Waker. Like, it actually had a Wind Waker demo on it. It was like, if you want to play a little bit of Wind Waker, I think Wind Waker was already out at that point. I don't know why this promo disc was released.
One of them you got as a pre-order for Wind Waker. When you pre-ordered Wind Waker,
you got Master
the Master Quest one. I remember I had both of them at some point. I sold them both for like $70 each, kind of thing. It was one of those things. I needed money, and
really
that's
cool.
what I had that was really expensive.
I don't. you know that I don't like selling things, but I'm really good at losing things. And that is how, like, I don't have half of my library anymore because I have lost them or lent them out over the years. And that's what happened to Master Quest, and I think that's what happened to the little 4-part compilation thing. Yeah, I know. I'm pretty haphazard when it comes to that kind of shit.
Well, I'm all done with my list. Do you have anything else?
I'm kind of all newsed out too, I think. I can't really think of anything.
I mean, we covered a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it was pretty big.
Hopefully next week it'll be a little drier so that we can maybe do a year in review.
Yeah, just kind of like what we felt about this year. Yeah. Games were good this year.
Oh, God.
The rest of the year was shit.
I was thinking back, I saw like a funny Kotaku, well, it wasn't even like a funny Kotaku article. It was a Kotaku article that I found funny because it was like, these are the eShop games that you may have missed that you should check out of 2016. I'm like, played it. God, there were some great games this year.
Yeah. It was a good year for games. It's a bad year for musical legends that I really like.
Oh yeah,
and other things, just everything. It's a weird year. I'm not gonna miss it, but yeah. Hopefully we'll get around to talking about that. I'll stick around and play Ninja Turtles.
Let's do it.
All right.
Thanks for listening, guys. As always, you can find this podcast on either iTunes or YouTube under Just Another Video Game Podcast. You can follow me on Twitter at JAVG Podcast, where I will update you on if there's stuff. If you don't like subscribing to things but are okay with following people on Twitter, I don't know what kind of person you are. They're kind of the same thing.
If you want to follow someone on Twitter who doesn't ever put anything on Twitter, you can follow me at Luigi's Apartment, or you can just go to Luigi's Apartment on YouTube, which is where my stuff shows up. So, yeah.
What's another podcast that you like? We'll plug that real quick.
Another podcast I like?
We plug one podcast.
I'll throw the guys at Laser Time. 30-20-10 is a fun little pop culture podcast where they go over this week in pop culture 30 years ago, 20 years ago, and 10 years ago. I think I basically just said their opening tagline. It's pretty good.
I would say the Easy Allies podcast. That's the former Game Trailers crew.
Okay.
They're all Patreon funded at this point, but they do a weekly podcast where they just talk about, similar to what we do, they have games and stuff that they do with theirs.
Yeah.
Like they have like readers will send in ideas for games, for like ideas where it's just like, you have to choose these things, and they like have to basically put a list together.
In time.
We need more people, more regulars, which we're working on, maybe.
Yeah. Hopefully we had a bunch of people really want to come and then fall out for various reasons this week. So hopefully next week we'll actually be able to talk about end of the year stuff anyway. It probably wouldn't have happened this week.
No, too much stuff to talk about.
Yeah, good lord.
All right, again, thank you all for listening, and we will see you next time.
Peace out, everybody.